Hey, Michelle, well, with the inaugural now over and the ceremonies wrapped up, the question becomes what happens with the 25,000 guardsmen, not to mention all the law enforcement that came to town. I got a couple of the answers already. There's buses below me that you can't see here parked on Pennsylvania Avenue. They've been loading up and moving out. That's been going on all night long. So that process has already begun. And it's going to take a little time, I think, to resemble normal in and around D.C. 7 on your side's Annalisa Gale. She's joining us now from 16th Street Northwest. And, you know, Annalisa, this seems, when you see all the stuff and apparatus they brought in, it's going to take some time.
Jonathan, it's definitely going to take some time. Here at 16th and L Streets, tight security remains in effect in front of the Capitol Hilton and Black Lives Matter Plaza. Now, the mayor's chief of staff tells us that things should be back to normal as we know it for residents and visitors sometime this weekend.
I felt if I stayed home, I was giving in to a bully.
Leanne Kufchuk flew in from Michigan for the 59th presidential inauguration. Despite increased security and concerns following the January 6th riot.
I just wanted to come out here, show strength, show I wasn't afraid, show that we can be, proud Americans.
Duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
Now that the inauguration is over, it's time to get back to business as usual in the downtown area. Streets that were blocked off to ensure a safe ceremony will slowly start to reopen between Thursday and Friday, including parking garages.
What you'll see over the next couple of days is all of those sort of perimeters that are up. What you'll see is they'll start breaking down the roadblocks that were in place for the central business district. They'll start from the east and they'll move west. And things will start to open up tomorrow, but really will be fully open by Friday morning.
13 metro stations are also scheduled to reopen by Friday. And while those roadblocks may be going away, the mayor's chief of staff says it's still unclear how many National Guard members will remain in the city following the inauguration.
That's really up to the National Park Service, the U.S. Secret Service, and so we'll continue to stay in touch with them in order to advocate for them to put in place the appropriate measures, but not too much that impedes kind of life as we know it in the city.
We know authorities have the option to keep National Guard members here for up to 30 days. Bridges will start to reopen at 6 a.m.
I'm on East Capitol Street. If you look down the street, that is the U.S. Capitol, the east front. I'm in the D.C.'s Capitol Hill neighborhood. And one thing that's kind of interesting, the east front of the Capitol was where the swearing in used to take place up until the time of Ronald Reagan. Then they moved it over to the west side. But these people have probably experienced more inaugurations than most, and we talked to a number of them today, as well as folks around the city. On the Capitol Hill neighborhood's Walter Street, we found these neighbors sitting outside watching the inauguration on a laptop. And the moment Biden was sworn in, a celebration erupted. The beating of pots and pans all over the neighborhood for the transition to Biden from Trump.
Thank heavens he's gone. Thank heavens we have history making. Vice President and President, we're just excited.
After the Trump supporters' attack on the Capitol January 6th, this neighborhood is filled with National Guard, some giving doggy treats, neighbors happy to see them.
I think as a D.C. resident, a lot of us, I think, feel a little relieved. A lot of stress is going to go away now, hopefully.
At 8th and H Northeast, blocks away, similar sentiments.
Anything that changes with Trump in it is a good thing.
I'm happy that Biden's here, because right now it's like a sense of peace and calm, not just with the United States, but with everybody.
And we're back live here at 6th and East Capitol. Members of the National Guard here as we've watched a number of them walk by as they've either come or gone from the U.S. Capitol. When we come back at 5:30, we'll look at some more of this. In fact, we'll talk to a D.C. resident who actually got up close, and she will tell us what it was like from that vantage point. Reporting live from, what side of the street are we on? Northeast Washington, I'm Sam Ford, ABC 7 News.
And 7 on your side is tracking this history unfolding still at this hour. We're going to begin with ABC 7's Tom Rousey. He's at our ABC 7 Capitol Hill Bureau. He's been there all day. And from now, a new era for our nation has begun, Tom.
Yeah, and Jonathan, there was so much non-traditional about the inauguration, but parts of it were traditional. Even though there were some calls to put it inside for security concerns, in the end, it took place outside on the west front of the Capitol like it always does. And as he gave his speech, Joe Biden talked about a lot of things. He talked about unity, but he also didn't shy away from talking about recent problems the country and even the Capitol building itself have faced.
This moment captured during the opening prayer of today's inauguration. It could not have been more different than in the same spot 2 weeks ago to the day.
Just a few days ago, violence sought to shake the Capitol's very foundation.
In both words and deeds, the new Biden administration chose to confront that day. This is Eugene Goodman. He was part of the official escort for Vice President Kamala Harris. Goodman is the Capitol police officer being called a hero for single-handedly facing down rioters that had broken in, diverting them away from the U.S. Senate.
Just days after a riotous mob thought they could use violence to silence the will of the people, to stop the work of our democracy, to drive us from this sacred ground. It did not happen. It will never happen. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Not ever.
In addition to political extremism and domestic terrorism, Biden listed problems like the pandemic and systemic racism that the country is facing.
Any one of these would be enough to challenge us in profound ways. But the fact is, we face them all at once.
But with 3 ex-presidents looking on, he said they can be overcome.
With unity, we can do great things, important things.
And now begins the very difficult work of trying to achieve that unity.